Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, Sushidragonmaster, and today I'm checking in on my 5-star predictions video from like 2 years ago. So, it wasn't like 2 years ago, but it was over a year ago that I made this video like predicting my 5-star reads because everybody was doing it at the time, so I wanted to do it. And yes, I'm filming in a different area. I'm just trying to get good lighting. It's cloudy. And like, it's not super cloudy. Like, the sun is kind of there, but the windows in the room that I've been filming in this year, the shades won't go up. So it's not letting the sun in for me. So we're doing this with the light that's up here. Anyway, I made that video and I was like, yes, here's books that I will potentially or hopefully love. They look like things I would like. And I learned something now because I decided randomly I'm going to just do this other video, and I didn't even think I read all of them. But then when I watched it through to be able to like make the list where I have like the books I have and like if I read them, what I rated them, and if I didn't read them, and all that, and it turns out I have read them all and I didn't really like any of them. So let's get into that. The one at the top of the list that I listed first in that original video was A Gathering of Shadows. Now, when I said I didn't really like any of them, like, I did enjoy this to an extent. Like, I thought it was fun. I just didn't think it was as good as the first one because I loved the first book of this series, and yes, I'm going to finish this series. It's just that this one was definitely like a middle book. Not much really happened until the end, and I mean, like I said, it was a fun time. I just gave it a 3 out of 5 because I just didn't feel like it was anything close to the first book. Still enjoyed it though, which is great. Just, I didn't enjoy it to the full extent that I wanted to. And all these next two, I don't know if they're exactly in the right order that I had them in the original video, but the next one I have is Sea Fire by Natalie C. Parker. I did not like this book. I pushed myself through it. I kept thinking it's gonna get better, it's gonna be fine, and it just never did. I mean, obviously, if you do like this book, that's great. That's amazing. I just didn't. And I gave it a 2.5 out of 5. I just wasn't feeling it. It just wasn't my thing. I have discovered that I don't think I like pirate stories. So that could have been why I didn't like this. The next one, Blood of 1,000 Stars by Rhoda Beliza. This was something that I read the first book of back like right when it came out, and I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. It was my favorite thing. And then I was so excited to read the sequel, and I just kept not reading it and not reading it. And then eventually I read it, and I also reread the first book, and this just kind of became a case of it's just no longer for me. It was for a story that was for me a few years ago, but now it's just not something I would enjoy or pick up or seek out. And so I gave it a 3 out of 5 because I don't want to say it's bad, but it's just not for me. Unfortunately, like, this probably would have been 5 stars had I read it back when I still really loved the first book, but that's just not the case anymore, which is sad, but it happens. Before I pick up this next one and show it to you, I'm just going to say, do not hate me. Please, no one hate me. 6 of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. See, I wanted to read this so bad for so long, because everyone loved it, and like the hype was never dying down. Even after the second book came out, people still talk about this series all the time and how they love it and how it's the best series ever. And I was so sure I was gonna love it. Like, I didn't even have any plans of reading the Shadow and Bone trilogy. But then I read that and I really enjoyed it. So then when everyone was saying this was better, I was like, oh, I'm gonna love it. It's gonna be like my favorite thing ever. And then I read it and I was bored pretty much the entire time. It's just very, very slow moving with long chapters, and those are two things that make me feel like I'm dragging through a book, which can affect my enjoyment of the book. I just kind of didn't really have any interest in any of the characters. I just didn't like it. I gave it a 3 out of 5, so I guess I liked it to an extent. I just found it okay. And I still have Crooked Kingdom, and I still keep telling myself I'm going to read that and it's going to be better. But I have yet to read it, and I honestly don't know if I will. Then we have the book that I ended up rating the lowest out of all these, and that is Emergency Contact by Mary H.K. Choi. I thought this was going to be one of those 5-star contemporaries for me, which are rare, but I usually read about one a year, except I don't think I did in 2019. Unless you count Orange. But Orange is kind of somewhat sci-fi, so I don't know. But this just appeared to be the type of thing that is like one of those hard-hitting type of contemporaries, which I usually end up giving 5 stars, and I don't read them a lot because they make me cry, and I don't want to cry that much. But this just was not at all something I would enjoy, obviously, because I gave it 2 out of 5 stars. And I just did not like anything about this book. Then the last one on this list is Ash Princess by Laura Sebastian. I thought this was going to be like one of those, I think in the original video I said it's like, looked like something I would like. It has like a dark, mysterious cover, like most of the fantasy I read has kind of bright, vibrant colors, so I don't know why I thought that looked like a fantasy book I read, or I would read. I don't know what I'm saying. And I really enjoy like fantasy with kingdoms and all that, and I thought like this looks like that. It was that, but I didn't really enjoy it all that much. It was okay. I gave it 3.5 out of 5 apparently. It's not, I did try to continue on with the series, and it's just not for me. That's what it came down to. Just not for me. So, the lesson learned here is that I have no idea what books I like. So, I will probably never do this again. Because I don't know what I enjoy. I just read things and hope for the best, and I'm just going to keep going with that. So thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!